Prioritization is the process of determining the order in which work should be completed in an agile project. It involves deciding which epic, feature, user stories, or tasks should be tackled first, based on their importance to the project's goals. Types of prioritization in Agile. 1. Business value prioritization. This involves prioritizing user stories based on their potential value to the business or end users. User stories with a higher potential value are given higher priority. 2. Risk-based prioritization. This involves prioritizing user stories based on the level of risk associated with them. Higher risk user stories are given higher priority. 3. Urgency prioritization. This involves prioritizing user stories based on their urgency or time sensitivity. User stories with a higher sense of urgency are given higher priority. 4. Technical dependencies prioritization. This involves prioritizing user stories based on their dependencies on other user stories or external systems. User stories with a higher number of technical dependencies are given higher priority. Factors affecting prioritization in Agile. 1. Business goals. The overall business goals of the project can influence which user stories or tasks should be prioritized first. 2. User feedback. Feedback from end users or stakeholders can help determine which user stories or tasks should be given higher priority. 3. Risk management. The level of risk associated with the user story can influence its priority, as higher risk user stories may need to be tackled first. 4. Budget and timeline. The project's budget and timeline can also affect which user stories or tasks should be prioritized first, as those with a higher potential impact on the project's timeline or budget may need to be tackled first. 5. Dependencies. Technical dependencies between user stories or external systems can also affect prioritization, as user stories with a higher number of dependencies may need to be tackled first. 6. Urgency. The urgency of a feature is how important it is to be completed quickly. Features that are more urgent should be prioritized higher. Prioritization techniques in Agile. 1. NOSCO method. This technique is based on the principle that not all requirements are created equal. The requirements are categorized into 4 categories: must have, should have, could have, and won't have. This technique helps the team to focus on the most critical requirements first. Must have. These are the features that are essential for the product to be successful. Should have. These are the features that would be nice to have, but the product can still be successful without them. Could have. These are the features that are not essential, but they could be added in the future if there is time and resources available. Won't have. These are the features that are not important and will not be added to the product. 2. Kono model. This technique helps to prioritize requirements based on their impact on customer satisfaction. The requirements are categorized into 3 categories: must have, performance, and delighters. The technique helps to ensure that the team focuses on delivering requirements that meet customer needs and provide the best customer experience. 3. Value versus complexity matrix. This technique helps the team to prioritize requirements based on their value and complexity. The team evaluates each requirement based on its business value and the level of effort required to implement it. The requirements are then plotted on a matrix where the team can easily see which requirements are high value and low complexity and which ones are high complexity and low value. 4. Relative weighting. This technique involves assigning weights to each requirement based on their importance. The team assigns a weight value to each requirement and then prioritizes them based on their weights. This technique helps to ensure that the team focuses on delivering the most important requirements first. 5. Team screening. This technique helps the team to prioritize requirements based on their alignment with the project goals and objectives. The team evaluates each requirement and assesses its relevance to the project goals. The requirements are then prioritized based on their alignment with the project goals and objectives. 6. Pairwise comparison. This technique involves comparing each feature to every other feature. The results of the comparisons are then used to create a matrix that shows how each feature relates to the others. The features with the highest scores are prioritized higher. 7. Expert judgment. This technique involves getting input from experts in the field. The experts can help to identify the features that are most important and that are most likely to be successful. 8. Weighted shortest job first is a prioritization technique used in agile development. It involves assigning a weight to each backlog item based on its business value, time criticality, risk reduction, and job size. The formula for calculating WSJF is WSJF equals business value plus time criticality plus risk reduction divided by job size. Here are the steps involved in the WSJF prioritization technique. Define the backlog items. The first step is to define all the backlog items that need to be prioritized. The backlog items can be features, user stories, or any other work items that the team needs to complete. Assign values. The next step is to assign values to each backlog item based on their business value, time criticality, and risk reduction. These values are usually assigned on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest value. Estimate job size. The team estimates the size of each backlog item in relation to the others. This can be done using story points, t-shirt sizes, or any other size estimation technique that the team prefers. Calculate WSJF. Using the formula above, the team calculates the WSJF score for each backlog item. Prioritize the backlog. The team then prioritizes the backlog based on the WSJF score, with the highest scoring items at the top of the list. WSJF prioritization technique helps to ensure that the team focuses on delivering the most valuable work items first. It takes into account the importance of each backlog item, the urgency to complete it, the potential risks, and the job size. This technique can also help to identify and manage dependencies and improve communication with stakeholders. Importance of prioritization. 1. Business goals. The overall business goals of the project can influence which user stories or tasks should be prioritized first. 2. User feedback. Feedback from end users or stakeholders can help determine which user stories or tasks should be given higher priority. 3. Risk management. The level of risk associated with a user story can influence its priority, as higher risk user stories may need to be tackled first. 4. Budget and timeline. The project's budget and timeline can also affect which user stories or tasks should be prioritized first, as those with a higher potential impact on the project's timeline or budget may need to be tackled first. 5. Dependencies. Technical dependencies between user stories or external systems can also affect prioritization, as user stories with a higher number of dependencies may need to be tackled first. Questions. 1. What do you understand is prioritization in Agile? 2. Could you give some types of prioritization related to Agile? 3. Could you mention and explain with illustrations some of the prioritization techniques in Agile? 4. Could you differentiate with illustration also given amongst the Moscow, Kono, and WSJF prioritization techniques? 5. Could you explain some of the importance of prioritization?